forget extra diapers. And never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never let them have too much screen time. And never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed. Never, ever become a minivan mom. And you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think. Stargardt disease was supposed to define me.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down.
A blinding eye disease attempted to force me away from doing what I was born to do.
But it cannot stop me. I have the tools.
I will keep moving forward.
Pushing past the limits of this disability.
I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Loss of sight won't blind our vision. Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got so much stuff to do today, and I got so much stuff done today that I might go to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be back up at 4:45 tomorrow. So that's how much crap I got done today and much stuff I got done. So you saw Kamala Harris, vice president and presidential candidate, was in town today. She was at West Dallas High School. And she was at the airport where she met folks on the tarmac at the 128th refueling. I'm assuming that's where she was because that's where everybody else was when the president came in. So, yeah, pretty cool. Sometime today I'll be giving away, making somebody eligible to receive $5,000. And then I think I might be giving it away on my show sometime this month. So y'all might want to listen. Keep listening. You might be eligible today, so make sure you keep listening. So when you hear the one call, that's all. And then we'll be able to give it away, and that'll be that. Y'all didn't say nothing about my impressions. Y'all will always be kissing up to Sherwin, talking about he got great impressions. Then I do an impression that was pretty on point for Gruber. Y'all don't say nothing. It's all right. It's all right. That's okay. That's how they treat me. That's how they treat me. But I think, I don't know, just like in America, right? Personal relations or race relations, they're rooted and they're an intricate issue today, especially. Centuries of inequities, cultural divides, and now political conflicts. Although certain areas have seen progress, the assertion that race relations in America would never be fully resolved should be looked at. And so that's what I'm doing today. I am of the belief that race relations will never be fully resolved. Historical foundations of racial relations in America is based on slavery, segregation, and discrimination. Everybody keeps crying. Why do you always keep talking about it? Why do you always keep thinking about it? Because you pretend like it's not there. People pretend like it's not a thing. These historical injustices have resulted in enduring socioeconomic disparities between racial groups, which I think also occur within racial groups. And so I think that's not an accurate argument to constantly, something that just sticks in my craw, constantly compare black people to white people. The gap between more, I'm not using white people as a barometer as to whether or not I'm successful or not. I'm using what my family had before me and before them, right? A couple generations, and then I can see my grandparents and my great-grandparents' generations. Yes, we have a legacy of slavery. Yes, we have a legacy of Jim Crow laws. Yes, we have a legacy of redlining. It disadvantaged all of us, and it disadvantaged Hispanics and Asians. We're talking about capital accumulation, right? Money, wealth, generational capital accumulation, money, wealth, education, employment. But the repercussions of the policies we're still feeling today. Still can't buy a house, but somehow those millennial white kids can buy a house. Millennial black kids can't. I'm just saying. We now have, in some instances, genuine racial equality. Like, at a certain point, the largest voting bloc in America, I think they said, was millennials. They all poor. But anyway, I digress. So racism continues to be deeply ingrained in institutions, criminal justice, education, healthcare, financial, right? Research constantly demonstrates that individuals of color, or like I like to call black, white, Hispanic, and Asian, I hate this people of color thing, it's kind of weird, are subjected to disproportionate rates of incarceration. I'm always going to use the flip side and stay in the middle. Some of them commit crimes. More severe sentencing, that's probably the largest issue in the criminal justice system. Black people getting sentenced to years and decades in prison while their white counterparts get barely anything. Remember the woman that got high on weed and had a psychotic break and shot the person like 20 or 30-something times and got probation? Yeah, that. Discriminatory policing practices, not always. But when they do, they're so egregious that the police should go to jail, and sometimes they don't. Many times they don't. In the same vein, educational disparities, students enrolling in schools like MPS that are inadequately funded and receiving inferior education. And then you have places that squander their funding, like MPS has done in the past, and the kids are still receiving an inferior education. But now there's work to change that. What about health care? We have a healthcare system that their entire system failed. Racial disparities and health outcomes where black people are thought to have endured more pain or come in for pain and narcotics because they want to abuse them or sell them, as I was treated by a hospital system here in the city of Milwaukee and filed a complaint with the state, and they actually said, oh, well, their treatment was correct for you. Okay, because the state licenses them, they're in cahoots with them. So I think the state, Department of Agriculture and Consumer, was garbage in and of itself, but I digress. The social fabric of America is profoundly rooted in racial bias and prejudices. We need to accept that because that's how life is. You can't complain that you want something to be all black and then complain when white people say they want something all white and then say it's different. The manifestation of these prejudices can be taken in the form of overt acts of racism, subtle forms of discrimination, implicit bias, all that stuff, right? But now we've got political polarization. You have a black woman that is running for president of the United States. If she wins, in other words, if she picks a white guy to be her running mate and she wins, they'll say, well, it was him. And she'll never quite fully get the credit that she deserves. Now, if you saw the interview today, I have to admit I was shocked. It was a great interview. Not interview, speech, whatever you want to call it. I saw the speech today here in Milwaukee. It was good. She was on point. She followed the rules. There was no laughter. There was no overt anything. It was just a basic, straightforward political speech. But then there's meritocracy. When you look at what Kamala Harris has done, prosecutor, right? Attorney General, Senator, and now Vice President, many people deny the existence of structural barriers that impact racial minorities. But if that were not the case, we would have had more Barack Obamas and Kamala Harris's in government at the presidential level. And so the resolution of race relations, it's pretty complicated. And one of the complications is the fact that we are a diverse country. The problem is this one size fits all doesn't work. We've got ethnicities, cultures, experiences, races, genders. It is challenging. It's a problem. But I don't think it's something in my lifetime we'll fix. I don't think it'll be fixed in Jason's lifetime. Because despite the substantial progress that we've achieved in improving race relations, injustice, racism, ingrained bias in all races, in all cultures, and now political polarization, economic inequities, pretending like there's no issue. Those are the problems, and they're formidable problems. And so how do we get around it? I don't think it'll ever be resolved. So then why try? Go on with your life. Move forward with your life. If people like you, they do. If they love you, they don't. And too bad. Or is it necessary to make continuous efforts to resolve and mitigate the challenges in order to achieve inclusivity and equitability? Well, one, they're never going to be equitable. You're never going to get something that's rightfully yours unless you take it. So there's only two options you have. You could take it, or you can stand up, look them in the eye and say, I quit.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Truth Nation, join me and my Truth teammates for my Beyond the Mic Happy Hour Mixer series this Friday, July 26th from 4 until 7 p.m. at Mo Bay Cafe, located at 1022 South 1st Street in Milwaukee. This will be an exciting night as we're going to give away Chula Vista Resort stays, and Dr. Ken will be broadcasting his show live from 4 until 6. And get this, everyone who attends will receive a free ticket to the Wisconsin State Fair. So mark your calendars for this Friday, July 26th from 4 until 7 p.m. at Mo Bay Cafe.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
What do you get when you combine grilled-to-order deliciousness with only the finest Wisconsin cheeses? Cousin Sub's new Wisconsin cheesesteaks, featuring either steak or chicken, bacon, cheddar cheese, sautéed onions, and their new Cheddar Supreme cheese sauce. It's a match made in dairy heaven. And the decadence doesn't stop there. Pair your Wisconsin cheesesteak with their new Orange Dream Shake. All are available for a limited time only. Order in store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and the time is now, Milwaukee. I believe that our listeners deserve the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that's exactly what we're going to bring to you every day from 12 to 1 p.m. We're going to be talking about life, love, relationships, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. Listen to Nothing But the Truth with me, Melanie Ricks, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Carolyn, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Hey, Dr. Ken, I was just listening to you, and you said something that hit a nerve with me about the health care. And here's an example. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and so I was diagnosed with breast cancer probably about 18 years ago. But moving forward and stuff, when I went to have my test for my checkup, they found a lump. Nobody ever called me back and said, hey, we found this lump. It might be cancer, nothing like that. So nobody ever called me, and I didn't think nothing of it because I said, well, they didn't call me, say they found anything, so I'm good. So happened that I told myself I'm going to go to the doctor. It was like 2 years later and get myself checked out. I went to the doctor, get myself checked out. The doctor walked in the room, and he asked me, he said, how are you doing, Miss So-and-so? And I said, I'm doing fine. He said, no, you're not. You got cancer. And he was like, didn't anybody call you or nothing? I was like, no.
Was it the same hospital system?
Yeah.
Don't say the name.
This was the same hospital system.
Okay.
And to jump forward, okay, now my mother died of cancer. 2 of my siblings died of cancer. I'm a breast cancer survivor.
Okay.
My daughter goes to the doctor. She finds a lump in her breast. They call her. They tell her, okay, it's benign. Don't worry about it. But see, she didn't say anything to me because that's not the protocol. Because of my history, her grandmother's history, and everything
That is correct.
else, she was supposed to be in a breast care clinic every year, getting it checked out. And at the very least, my oncologist said they should have removed it because of my history and the history of cancer in our family. So they did not remove it. Now my beautiful 30-year-old has stage 4 cancer that has spread it.
Wow. And so was there a complaint made to anything or anybody?
Well, she's gathering her records and having her new doctor go over them. So she's getting all her stuff together. And so one person told her, oh, you don't have a case. I said, yes, you do. I said, because they did not follow protocol. I said, there is a protocol. When your mother is a breast cancer patient, there's a protocol. You're supposed to start taking your mammograms, and then when they tell you they found the lump, they should have been removing it.
So how old was your daughter when you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
Let's see. My son was in high school, so he's 5 years older than them. So she was like about 14.
Okay.
Yep. And I had told them, I said, at age 30 and before, I told them before, go and start checking, get your breast checked. So she did. And they found a lump and told her it was benign, so she didn't think anything of it. And I said, why didn't you say something to me? And she said, Mama, they said it was benign, so I didn't think anything of it. And I told her I would have pushed the issue. I would have been having that lump removed.
Right. And so she's now stage 4.
Yep.
First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. Are they helping to bring her along, and is she having treatments or anything?
Well, you know what, Dr. Ken, by the grace of God, and that's the only person that can really help her. I talked her into going into a trial. I said, go to a trial because she was going to an oncologist. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, from the way he was talking, I told him, I said, no, I want a second opinion. And he was like, well, that's fair. And I was trying to get her to go to the City of Hope. But she chose one up here and stuff. So she got into a trial, and she's feeling optimistic because she says her doctor is good, explained everything to her, and has told her that they have had some good results with some of the medications that they've been going through with their trial.
And so,
doing now.
And so, is there a are you part of a survivor group?
No, just lean on my church members.
Okay. So what I want you to do is give Jason, I'm going to put you on hold, give Jason your information. If it's okay with you, with your permission, I'll pass your name on to a cancer survivor group. That is a pretty powerful group. I've had them on the show, and actually they can help you and help your daughter because they are registered nurses, and many of them are certified cancer nurses. That's what they do.
Okay.
So it's not like somebody just singing. Go ahead.
I just feel like I'm almost a pro at this because of my mother, my brother, and my sister, and my father.
But these are medical professionals that do it like they are certified to do this. And one of them is my spouse, who has worked in oncology for over 25 years.
Okay.
That's what she does.
Okay.
Well, technically that's what she did, but she still does it because she helps run a cancer survivor group. And it's not like the kind of group you're thinking about. I know what you're thinking about. They do it out of a church. And I think it will be helpful for you just to have that group to lean on.
Okay, and I'll share that information with her because actually that's what I do for a living. I do therapy, and I'm like, Okay. I would appreciate that.
All right. Now I want you to go now, Carolyn, at least once. One time.
I'm going to go, Dr. Ken.
Now watch this. Now watch this.
One time.
All of Truth Nation has heard you say you going. If you don't go, I'm come find you.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go one time, and don't worry about finding me because I'm gonna find you at the Mobile Cafe.
All right, sounds good. Hang on. You gonna hold on?
All right.
All right.
I will.
Okay. And so she goes through this issue, right? She ends up having. Did she hang up or did you push the button? Carolyn, call back. Carolyn goes through this issue of being misdiagnosed and then later is able to figure it out, go to the doctor, get a second opinion, and all those things. I'm not a woman, and I don't have breast cancer, and I'm not a cancer survivor, but people in my family are, and people in my family have passed away from it. And I think it's important to get with a professional. We can sometimes think we know everything, and you can know a lot. You just are not the professional that knows the nuances of it. So we can feel like we know, but if you don't work in that field and it's not a specialty or certification for you, you really don't. Like, I know a lot about computers, but I'm not a certified anything. So when it comes down to like fixing, like, don't call me. And that's all I'm saying. So a good cancer survivor group, you know, with women that can help you deal with things for women and with your daughter. And because it's not all physical, it can be spiritual and psychological. So, yeah, make sure you check that out. I think, okay. All right. So now I'm getting phone calls. I will pass these names on. 03. I'm just writing down names that people are sending me on the talk and text line for cancer survivor group. Because I think it's important that men and women, but especially women, have that space where they can go and deal with issues that they have. With women who understand it and do it for a living, that can talk you out of your nonsense. Well, I figured out what, you know, and really give you what I like to call the real, not the fake real. I'm going to make you feel good about yourself. No, I don't want you to feel good about yourself. I want you to be so uncomfortable that you get up and do something about it and you figure it out. In other words, I need you to be sick and tired of being sick and tired and get up and do it. And so I'll get your name, Carolyn, and I see, I'm not going to say your name because if I say your name on the talk and text line, I think people will know who you are instantly because you have a very unique name. But I'll just say, I'll make sure I pass that on so you can hear and think about what all that takes in order to get the help and the support you need. We got to start doing that for each other. I think it's powerful that these two people actually called in and said what they said. One text, one calls. Because you have to deal with it in the moment. So I think it's powerful. 833-212-1017 is the number. We've been talking about politics. We've been talking about all sorts of things that have come up today. Somehow we got on to, I talked about my hospital, my complaint, and then somebody jumped on to healthcare issues and the issue they ran into with having breast cancer. So those are the types of things that we do here on The Truth. We just connected two people, cancer survivor group, and we'll go from there. That's what we do. In the 5 o'clock hour, we got the top 5 at 5, and then we have Entrepreneurship Tuesday, powered by We Energies, coming up. I got a great interview. I think you're going to love it. And so I think it'll be great, right? Traffic, sports, and weather. Oh, by the way, I got to come up with somebody who's eligible to win $5,000 because, the last couple times I did that, like I ended up picking a person they called. I think last time they called Sherwin. But the time before that, they called my show on Thursday and one on Wednesday and one on Friday. So I'm just saying. Got a track record. Like 1 and 3. That's not a track record, is it? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. We got top 5 at 5. We're going to be giving away, making somebody eligible to win $5,000 because I'm going to be giving it away next week. And what else? Great interview with the director, president, and founder of African Ancestry. So it's going to be great. Traffic, sports, and weather up next.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Attention, Milwaukee County. When it comes to stroke, every second counts. Remember to be fast. B-E-F-A-S-T.
B, balance. Are you having trouble with coordination or balance? E, eyes. Sudden blurred or double vision. Have you lost sight in one eye or both? F, face drooping. Is your smile lopsided or your face numb or drooping? A, arm weakness. Are you having difficulty reaching for things? Does your arm drift downward when placed in front of you? S, speech difficulty. Is it difficult to speak? Try saying, the sky is blue. Does that come out correctly? T, terrible headache. Are you having pain in your head? Experiencing more than one of these symptoms? Time to call 911.
Remember, recognizing these signs and acting fast can save a life. If you or someone you know experiences these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. This message is brought to you by the Milwaukee County Office of Emergency Management. Stay informed, stay safe.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Prostate cancer screening is a simple blood test. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Your family history of prostate cancer increases the risk for all the men in your family. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Prostate cancer is most treatable when it's detected early. It's a simple blood test. Get it done. Men, it's your life. That's why it's so important to talk to your doctor about getting tested. If you want info on how to take action, the Prostate Cancer Foundation is here to help. For more than 30 years, PCF, a leader in scientific breakthroughs, has funded cutting-edge research that speeds new treatments into clinics, helping patients live longer with fewer complications. Go to pcf.org to learn more about prostate cancer and how you can advocate for yourself. Remember, it's your life, and it's a simple blood test. Get it done.
Southbound on 43, going to be slow from Hampton Avenue all the way down past Burleigh. Back on the brakes through the Marquette interchange and over the high-rise bridge. Stays kind of slow all the way to the KK River. Northbound side, backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Westbound 94 riders, you're slowing down right out of the Marquette interchange all the way past Mitchell Boulevard, so you want to give yourself some extra time there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Storms ending, partly cloudy and still humid with a low of 63. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and cooler, a slight chance for showers, a high of 74. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. The Packers kick off their second training camp practice on this Tuesday without star quarterback Jordan Love as his contract extension talks continue. ESPN's Adam Schefter had this to say about Love's potential deal on the Pat McAfee Show.
But I think by the end of the week, my guess would be that Jordan Love will have a new contract that probably makes him one of the, if not the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
Love is currently on the last year of his contract. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers lost on the road in Chicago to the Chicago Cubs 3-1 on Monday. They are back in action this Tuesday. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:30. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. What is on your mind? I'm open today. You know, I got like 8 or 9 things I want to talk about, but I'm feeling kind of open. What's on your mind? What are you thinking about? A caller, I think I said this already, caller called and would like information on the breast cancer survivors group. So I passed your name on to folks, and that's that. So they'll be in touch. Here's one of the things I want to complain about. You ready? Here's one of the things I want to complain about. If you accidentally leave your iPhone pressed with the microphone on, it will record every single thing you say and put it in whatever you're doing. So if you're in the wrong thing or you're having a conversation and the conversation, yeah. Interesting. 833-212-1017 is the number. Al, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Well, first thing I want to say is good evening to you and The Truth. You know what's on my mind is these kids being outside at 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I know some of these parents is not at work, and I also know some of these parents, there is a father in the household. But what kind of boggles me is when things happen within our community, we always have an excuse for something, or we try to pacify the action, from the garbage to calling our neighborhoods the hood, or to the kids being out in the street. And what's going on is it is not the politician's job to raise your kids. And some of y'all, not y'all, but I have seen some of these parents walking the streets with their kids with these guns. I have seen some of these parents out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning up at the gas station with their kids. But for some reason, we never want to discuss why is it such a problem in the house. And then they say, well, that's in-house. But you keeping the problem in-house, but you're not taking care of the child.
So what do you think should be done, Al?
I think the parents should be reprimanded. The mother, and if the father not around, go find him too, because he took part in the creation. I also feel like people should be checking on their kids. They should. I understand you have a teenage son. You can't be around
But
them.
I got that. What do we do when they don't?
Oh, they got to get locked up. And I think you need to take them away.
So then the state now has to take care of the kid anyway.
Well, if the state don't take care of them, they're going to die in the streets. You know, and it's a sad case.
Why don't we just train kids to be able to take care of their children? Why don't we go back into the high schools and have those classes that we cut, like home economics, and you have to learn how to take care of a plant or a baby, all that, so that you learn that it's important to learn how to take care. We train people how to be everything in the world except parents.
I think that's true too, but also it takes the parent involvement, not sitting at home with your kids when you know they don't go to school. And then you got some parents out here who pacify and think what their kids ain't doing nothing wrong. Boy, put that gun up. Or I just feel like we're going down a bad road right now.
What do you mean,
the road we're going down?
Al, what do you mean going down a bad road? We've been down this bad road for at least a decade.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is like when I bring certain things up, it's to the point that certain people around my age group are older. They will make an excuse, or they say cut them some slack.
Wait a minute.
And I'm like,
wait a minute.
Why would you?
What about how old are you, Al?
Well, I'm close to my 50s, but I'm talking about the people that's in their 60s and 70s.
No. I'm in my 60s, and we don't make those excuses at all. If anything, we're the opposite.
No, but some of them around that age group, they'll say that, or they'll say the kids
you are not putting that on boomers and older Gen X. They don't roll like that.
No,
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that's incorrect.
No, this is what I have. That's what I have heard on the radio,
incorrect.
and I try to use this. And I try to use this as an example because my mother didn't grow up with a silver spoon in her mouth, and my grandmother had about maybe 14 kids. But she knew where they was at 24/7. She didn't tolerate no mess, and they was terrified when my grandfather was gonna come around, and he was 5'7" and fat, and all he wore was dress-up pants and slide-in shoes. And if he had to put his slide-in shoes on, everybody should take cover. You know, so I just feel like right now we are not. We're not coming up with no solutions, and we keep giving excuses.
That's true.
And that's not what we're about.
That's true.
Because we're bright, we're smart, and we're intelligent. But when these kids out here, some of the problems are the parents. We got good parents out there.
But the parents aren't going to do anything about it. So are you open to just locking up the kid?
I say lock up the kid and get a parent a big fine. That's how I feel.
All right.
Because we're taking too many losses. Thank you.
Thank you much. 833-212-1017 is the number. Here come the argument. Sandra. On the award-winning 1017 The Truth. She'll say, hi, how are you? I'm doing fine. And fine, how are you? I'm doing fine, Sandra. Okay, now, argue about what?
We're both fine.
Number one.
Why do you say I'm going to argue? I didn't call to argue.
Is your name Sandra?
It sure is.
Then you're here to argue.
No. I mean, you speaking of different topics, and I was listening to the lady that called in about the best exams. And I just want to add a little bit. I went and took mine, and I just kind of noticed it wasn't real thorough as they had been. The person that did it.
Uh-huh.
So then they sent me a letter and told me I had to come back and get another one. Went back, got another one. It turned out all right.
How long ago was this?
Fatty tissue. About May.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said, you got fatty tissue and it's hard to see and blah, 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 blah. And so I went back, got another one. Now, my point is, now this costs $350. So when you go to get a second one, that's another $350. That's $700.
Okay. Is your life worth $700?
Well, yeah, I have insurance, but just think about the people that don't. I mean, that's kind of in a bad place where they don't have insurance or can't pay for it. But my life is worth $700 if I had to do it. But see, what I'm saying, it wasn't as thorough as they have been doing. And so it's a different person anyhow. And so sometimes I think, a little bit, you kind of get, they get a little lax.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I thought they may want some more money because, this is build up money. But, because that stuff is expensive. Because, like I say, go for surgery. Go to the emergency or something, $2,000 and all that stuff. So where do you get the money from? How are you going to end up getting help if chops are being chopped, to get the help you need, for the health care?
Okay. So what do you suggest happens?
Well, number one, we have to be real ad about keeping our health care. Don't let the chopping blocks chop it off.
But but you got to understand, healthcare is a business. It's an insurance business. It has nothing to do with the government. So the problem is that when you try to add either the government takes it over, which is like Medicare, Medicaid, which isn't run well at all. You gotta look to the private sector, but the Affordable Care doesn't work for some people either because it's based on the same premise of Social Security. So, and eventually it could become too expensive. So, what do we do?
I don't know. All I know is file bankruptcy because if it hit me that hard, I'm going to bankrupt court. So what else can we do? You know, the bills. Man, like I said, I'm pretty lucky because I got mine and I got a good insurance policy.
Well, the issue is the middleman, which is called insurance.
Okay.
The insurance company is able to spread out the cost and do some things where some people pay a little more than others on premiums. Some people pay, it's an odd system to me because if I paid you directly, it would cost me significantly cheaper. So if that's the case, why am I paying an insurance company?
Well, yeah.
This is weird, but I guess that's the system we set up, and I guess they paid the politicians enough money to allow it to go through. So
to keep it that way, yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's just it's just kind of hard to sit there and believe, and then you open up a bill and it's this and that, and then you got to get them corrected, and because
you got to make sure you double check them.
Yeah, because when I went south, I told you I went south. They come send me a bill with all kinds of stuff on it. I said, I didn't do that. Even had diapers on it. I don't wear no diapers.
Yep, you got to check all that. You got to check every single bill.
Yeah, but that's what happens.
And watch this. I went to the doctor on a Wednesday, went to the doctor on a Friday. They did the same test both days. But when you read through the components, one section of it was $385. And then in the next section, the exact same test was $450. And I called them and said, hey, this is incorrect. You need to double check this whole bill. And they went back and checked it, and it was just wrong. And that they slipped stuff through. They slipped stuff in to try to make it look like, well, we have to rule out all this stuff. Yeah, but did it take all that? It took like $5,000 worth of ruling out? No.
Well, I should call too. I say I got that off of my bill.
Diapers?
You don't do me like that. Yeah. Okay, so I was just calling you real fast, and I wasn't fussing at you, see?
Yeah, right. You always fuss at me.
Okay, Dr. Kim.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all. Truth Nation, now's your chance to be our one call, that's all. 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered in to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number, just tell me. 6. Should have picked 5. Caller number 6. If you had said 5, I would have said 6. 833-212-10. Jason can't win. 833-212-1017 is the number. Caller number 6. If you win, you better say thank you to Jason, and you'll be in to win the $5,000 giveaway with a award-winning station I know called 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, caller number 6, 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has ever been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all. Visit them at gruber-law.com for official contest rules. Visit 1017thetruth.com.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and see this wonderful smile live every day.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different? What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number, 1-800-662-HELP?
What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
Wisconsin State Fair is almost here. Are you ready for it? Snag your discounted admission tickets and more by July 26th. Don't forget your fair favorites like bargain books, cream puffs, Spin City Ride and game tickets, and the Wonder Fair wheel. Time's running out faster than a racing pig, so start planning your day. Feel good at the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular, August 1st through 11th.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I was just looking at the weather. Atlantic hurricane season. Tropical. See, there's a tropical cyclone frequency. If I have to know that, I'm not living there. And every time I think about, Hilton Head, Charlotte, oh, yeah. And then I look at that and I go, no. That's okay. Stay right here. Stay right here with the snow. I know the snow. Now, I love me some Arizona. I'll get in dry heat. Most they'll get is a dust storm, right? It might rain, but that's about it. What I'm not going to do, cyclones, hurricanes, tornadoes. And Wisconsin's been having some pretty bad tornadoes recently. When I was growing up, I never knew the difference between a hurricane and a tornado. And to be honest with you, right now, I still don't know the difference between a hurricane. I know hurricanes are caused by tropical winds and, where it's warm weather and all that, and tornadoes can pretty much break out of anything. Like a hurricane can break into little tornadoes and go across the country. And I think I actually drove through a tornado once going to Colorado, and I didn't notice it and just kind of pulled over into a parking lot and rested. And I probably, it was a storm, and I probably lived through a tornado. And I think about that, and I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I've probably ever done in my life. Well, probably not, but But I've always been afraid. Hey, I want to say congratulations. The One Call, That's All 5K giveaway entrant of the day is Bonnie. So Bonnie is going to be entered in to win $5,000 next week, I think. Is it next week? I think it's next week. One of them days next week. We usually do it on the last day of the quarter, and then they gonna call, and I gotta beep, 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 beep. Except I want to call them. I want to call them on the air. I'll be like, you can hear everything go through and all that. And then I'm gonna call them and say, hey, you, come here. May I speak to so-and-so? And they'll say, speaking. And then I'll say, well, that'd be dumb if I call your phone number and say, does it end in a 9? And you say yes. Like, duh, you called me, stupid. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll see who wins. And if you win, if you don't scream, I'm going to the next person. If you don't be like, oh, I want $5,000. If you don't, I'm hanging up. I don't think we can do that. That's not in the contest rules, is it? It's not in the contest rules, so we can't do that. I'm kidding. But I mean, y'all, they be like, oh, yeah, girl, I'm so glad I won. I'm like, are you even awake? Do you understand that you just won something that you did nothing for, but you made a phone call, and now you're entered into it? And then you won. Like, do you recognize that? And people are like, it's okay. So in the 5 o'clock hour, we got the top 5 at 5, and then I have an interview for something that I think is probably more important than any other thing you would do other than 23andMe. What 23andMe will do for you as it relates to medical conditions, African ancestry, if you're African American, will do for you to fill in those gaps. Now, what it's going to also do is find out when Cousin Ray Ray said they was your cousin. Yeah, that might end up being your brother. I'm just saying. But because, names pop up and, little things like that on the regular Ancestry.com. But African Ancestry has the largest group of people of African descent in an ancestry database than anybody else in the world. So we'll be talking to Dr. Page about that. And I think you will be amazed at some of the things that it does and some of the things that you can find out. And so it'll give you that percentage of African that you are versus, well, we think you kind of came from here, but some of your DNA came from there, and we kind of think you came from, and all of us have some European ancestry. Some do, others don't. And so my percentage was significantly high when it came to African, because it just is what it is. But eventually I might share some of my more interesting parts of my DNA and where I'm from in southwestern Nigeria, in the area of Benin, and the tribe and all that stuff. So it is really cool. So I think you'll be amazed. I want to see where Jason got his hair. I thought we gonna do. Okay. And how much African were you? 20% white? Okay. Interesting. No comment. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got to dig mine up now and I'll let you see it. And we've got that coming up. It'll be exciting, so make sure you stick around. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5 up next.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas from Truth Be Told with DT and Tellez, and I am so excited for you to tune in to our monthly interview with Old National Bank. Old National Bank will be joining us to discuss why they are so committed to supporting women and people of color-owned businesses, while also discussing their Empowerment Loan Program, which can provide your business access to funds up to $5 million. So don't miss our Truth Be Told monthly interview with Old National Bank at 8 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Research shows that high-quality teachers have the greatest impact on student success during the school day. By shaping their students, they are shaping the future. Yet while actors have Oscars, musicians have Grammys, and athletes have gold medals, exemplary educators who prepare every profession are just not recognized enough. The Milken Educator Awards set out to change that by surprising outstanding educators across the nation with $25,000 prizes and providing a platform to celebrate, elevate, and activate the profession.
Erica Stevens!
The awards were created by Lowell Milken of the national nonprofit Milken Family Foundation. The journey to surprising the 3,000th Milken Educator is in full swing. Who will be next?
Honey, they chose me.
Celebrate teachers, value teachers, thank teachers.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Maybe I didn't hit it enough. Let me do this.
Number 5.
It was me. That's what I did before. I hit it, and then I hit it again, and it played, and then it kept going straight to this. It's always operator error, at which point you blame your producer and say it's his fault when it's actually yours. From CBS 58, the U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle has tendered her resignation amid scrutiny of security lapses linked to the recent assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump, sources tell CNN. No, so here's my issue with this. Here's my issue with it. The day of the shooting, they fell short of their mission. Why do we expect perfection from law enforcement? It is the most idiotic thing I have ever seen in my life. I've watched cops take raps, that's called being disciplined, for stuff that was completely out of their control. But now they think that what?
I'm sorry, but that's just like the one job you kind of have to be perfect at,
but
especially when you're protecting the president.
What human being is perfect at anything? You're not even perfect. Go sit down. Get off my microphone. What's wrong with him? Be perfect. The fact that you're saying that a human being needs to be perfect at something makes no sense. Right? Because if you want it good and you want it fast, then it's going to be expensive. You can't have it any other way. You got to pay for it. You want your education to be good? You got to pay for it. You want it to be fast, accelerated? You got to pay for it. Except law enforcement. Oh, you have to be perfect. And then when you're not perfect, you're castigated. When you're perfect and you actually do it right, they just don't like you. So you're castigated. Like, how do you win? So what happens is, it's been 9 days. Idiotic AOC. It's been 9 days and we don't know anything. Hey, moron. You ever seen somebody do an investigation in 9 days? Go back to being a bartender. Go back. Because you sound like an idiot. And you don't sound like a elected congresswoman who doesn't understand that I have at least, how many people were at the thing Saturday with Trump conservatively? Maybe 1,000, if not more. It was probably over 1,000 people, right? You ever try to interview 1,000 people in 9 days? Divide 1,000 by 9. If you divide 1,000 by 10, that's 100 people a day. Think about that. That's 100 people you would have had to interview in a day. That's not going to happen. And if you do it too fast and it's slipshod, then you start poking holes in the investigation. So you go slow. You take your time. And you go through. And that's what they were doing. And guess what? The FBI are the ones that are doing the criminal investigation. There are 7 steps, 7 to just cause. There are some things internally that you can't do unless you do the criminal stuff first. So you have to make sure before you start an internal investigation on what happened and want to blame people, the FBI has to finish their criminal investigation first. But I guess we got to deal with knuckle brains who don't know their head from a hole in the wall, who don't run law enforcement anything, who don't have any understanding of what it takes to do a job. And none of them will ever step up to put their life on the line for their community or their family. So for you to sit there and talk about we're in harm's way every day. People want to take, we're high value targets. Did you think about the people that protect you as being martyrs? No. Because she's exactly what I call her. You know what that is? Anybody know? A knuckle brain.
Number 4.
You ever see somebody's brain that has like 4 bumps in it? Right? That's what that is. That's what that is. I'm sorry. Such a knuckle brain. Speaking of resignation, Senator Bob Menendez, who was found guilty earlier this month on all 16, not 15 or 2, 16 counts in his corruption trial, said he will resign from office effective. There's a gnat in here that's driving me crazy. Effective August 20th. And so my question is, why is he waiting until August 20th when you just found guilty or something? Maybe he gets to keep his pension or something. I don't know. Ending a 50-year career in politics that reached the heights of power on the world stage. Menendez said in a letter processed in the Senate and obtained by Politico, said, while I fully intend to appeal the jury's verdict all the way and including to the Supreme Court, I do not want the Senate to be involved in a lengthy process that will detract from its important work. Which is what? Making sure you get paid every 2 weeks or once a month or something? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And maybe I'm missing something because he seems to be kind of what we call for a minute there, he was a Teflon Don. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get in trouble for anything until he got in trouble for everything.
Number 3.
Milwaukee police are investigating the death of a 6-year-old boy in a child abuse case. Loved ones identified the little boy as Zane McAtee Adams, and the incident happened on Sunday the 21st near 103rd and Mill Road. The child was transported to a local hospital and was later pronounced dead. 33-year-old woman was arrested in connection with the child's death, and this from WISN 12. Their news crews were at the property yesterday as detectives walked around and public works crews boarded up the front and back doors at the duplex. Loved ones held a balloon release and vigil last night, leaving balloons and photos and stuffed animals in front of the property. Zane's uncle, Fred Adams, who did not want his whole face shown, spoke and said his brother is Zane's father, and this is the kind of what can happen when you isolate a child. And they're not around people who love them so much. My brother, he had his own things going on and that he had to handle right now. He's incarcerated, and my nephew just left with the wrong person. And so loved ones said the woman police arrested is not Zane's biological mother. So the DA's office has been referred charges, and they're looking into it to see what's going to come of it. It's important that we remember this young boy and his family in our prayers. Very unfortunate.
Number 2.
So here's something that I want to throw out. This is something I want to throw out. Something I might want to chop up a little bit, but could J.D. Vance turn out to be the completely and totally wrong pick for Donald Trump as a running mate? Now that, because think about it, they thought Trump was running against Joe Biden, and they thought J.D. Vance was running against Vice President Kamala Harris, who, as they say, might well turn into the 2024 Woman of the Year, right? But now with her experience, she's got to argue. Trump is not a lawyer. Trump is not a prosecutor. So I don't know that argument. That's going to be a fight. The number of women who were planning to vote for Trump is smaller. Will Vice President Kamala Harris drive women to vote for her? The divorces Trump has had, the comments that he's made, all those things. So it will be interesting to see in the coming weeks how that shakes out. If today's speech was any indication, I think this just may be a formidable race.
Number 1.
This from JS Online. He left an indelible mark. A Milwaukee firefighter, prolific recruiter, dies from cancer. So from the Truth Nation to the family of Duran Kemp Jr., he knew he had a limited time when he was diagnosed with brain cancer early 2023. Doctors estimated had about 18 months to live with heavy intensive treatment or 6 months without. The Milwaukee Fire Department firefighter and recruiter and Milwaukee Bucks superfan sat down with his wife, Lakeisha Johnson Kemp, on the first day of his diagnosis. She told him that they needed to rip the Band-Aid off. She was direct, telling him he was going to die from cancer. But Kemp, as he's shown through his fight with cancer, wouldn't let himself give in to thinking his diagnosis was terminal. Lakeisha said every day he would wake up and we got today, we have today, we're going to fight. They were telling him every time he went to the hospital, every time he went to the doctor, more bad news. But his response was always, I'm willing to fight. Well, Duran Kemp Jr., 44, died on July 8th from glioblastoma, a type of brain cancer, after surviving almost 450 days. The father of two died surrounded by family in little pain, a relief for a type of cancer that can be painful and cause seizures and other intense symptoms, his family said. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, cancer is the leading cause of death for firefighters, and Kemp followed in the footsteps of his father, Duran Kemp Sr., who was a firefighter. Kemp's decision was a surprise to the family, and according to his father, no one in the family knew he wanted to join the department, but directly after high school, that's exactly what he did. His father said, I've never, ever pushed him into being a firefighter. He said, Dad, I know how you could take care of your family and spend time with us. I saw how you did that, and I figure I could do this job as well. So by the time his cancer treatments forced him to stop working, Kemp had 25 years with the Milwaukee Fire Department, pivoting to a recruiter after working as a firefighter. So to the Duran Kemp Jr. family and to his wife, Lakeisha, and family members, Truth Nation's heart goes out to you. Just want you to know that we'll miss him. He's crossed my path several times at different places, and so we're just thinking of him. He's in our prayers, and Aaron Lipsky, the fire chief, spoke very highly of him, and just wanted you to know, Truth Nation, we have you, and we'll be praying with you.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What's good, y'all? This is 1017 The Truth's Telly Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. The goal of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is to provide a platform for citizens of Milwaukee and Truth Nation to have their voices heard about concerns that have daily, direct impact. So join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different. What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Wisconsin State Fair welcomes TLC. Friday, August 2nd, 7:30 p.m. State Fair main stage presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. TLC. Go way back like crazy, sexy, cool, and totally live. Special guest, Jordan Sparks. On sale now at wistatefair.com. Don't miss TLC Live. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm Dr. Ken Harris. Thank you for being here today. So I am in the studio with somebody who's, this will sound like a stalker. I've been following her career for probably about 10 years. I've always been intrigued of work that other people that have doctorates are doing, right? Because it's completely outside of my area of expertise, but I'm kind of intrigued on how they did it. And so my guest today is Dr. Gina Page. She's the co-founder and president of one of my favorite companies, African Ancestry Incorporated. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
So I'm intrigued because I want to know how exactly did you grow up to create a company that's going to have, I would say in the next 20 years or so, a significant impact on the African American community throughout the entire world?
I don't know how I grew up to do this. It was not a direct or it's nothing I planned to do. So Before February 21st, 2003, this was not possible. So I couldn't have grown up to know that I would do this.
What do you mean it wasn't possible?
We are the pioneers of using DNA to determine ancestry for people of African descent. So before there was an Ancestry.com or 23andMe or any of these other companies, we were in the marketplace making this happen for people. But my journey here, I guess if there was a guiding light, it was that I wanted to work for myself and that I love Black people. Mm-hmm. So I curated my educational experiences to put me in a position that would allow me to work for myself and to, as often as possible, support Black people in the process. So now I have it all in one. I have used my skills and talents that I and my parents invested in to create something that has never existed before for the benefit of the group of people that I'm passionate about.
Okay. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Washington, D.C., home of the Million Man March, home of the late, great godfather of go-go, Mr. Chuck Brown.
Yeah. Wow. And so I understand that you were an entrepreneur at 8 years old. You were motivated you figured out that you could do things and get things by working today so that you can have it tomorrow.
Yep.
And so you started a magazine?
Yes. So I'm dating. At 8, it was 19.
You don't have to tell the year.
Well, the point is that there was a new amusement park that was opening.
Motivation.
And it cost $5 to get in. And my cousin and our parents were like, well, when you have $5, then we can go. So we wrote these magazines, and they spent more than $5 making the copies, typing them up, whatever we did. I guess we didn't type it. We wrote them, and they made the copies and helped us put them together. And then they probably bought most of them. I can't remember that now, but. And we made our $5 to be able to go to King's Dominion. We had lemonade stands,
Wow.
We just.
So what was most memorable about growing up in D.C.?
I have to say now that I think it was the sense of community. Mm-hmm. I went to a predominantly white school starting in the 8th grade, but I didn't assimilate. Right. So I kept my connections and kept my friends.
That tells me the generation you're from, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Same one.
Yeah. And, when I think back, like my father, when I was 14, he took me to a Sweet Honey in the Rock concert.
Wow.
And, I always wondered, like, what made him think that I would like this? But he planted that seed. And then I became a groupie. Like, as an adult, I would go wherever they were singing, I would go. And so I think it's, growing up in a city where you see Black excellence, Black professionals,
absolutely,
Black educators, Black service people. It made you... There was never any question about what is possible for you.
So then what sparked the interest in business? As a child, you were motivated to get the whole, amusement park thing going. But then, in 2003, people didn't understand about mitochondrial DNA. They had no idea what it was. They couldn't even say the name. That's why they called it DNA.
Yeah.
But now you... the only word I know of to use, and I'm sure you'll correct me, you stumbled upon something that can not just revolutionize, but literally change all of the African diaspora.
Yeah. Well, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So my father has 6 siblings. All 7 of them have had their own businesses. My grandparents raised them as entrepreneurs. They had a barbershop and a corner store. So and their parents, So it just literally is in my DNA. It's like it's kind of what you do. That's the environment I grew up in. But I wouldn't say I stumbled upon African ancestry. It was the result of having built a network.
Right.
And so a colleague of mine was also a colleague of Dr. Kittle's. They were both at Howard University. And so she was collaborating with him on researching the psychological impact of his then research. And she said to me, he wants to turn this into a business. Can you help? At a cookout.
Of course, because that's where everything happens, right?
So I think what got me here was having the network, being able to think critically, and having the desire to do something that helps, or not even helps, but just for the benefit of Black people. That and I believe the ancestors are all up in it and all around it, because there really is no logical reason that we're in business today.
Wow. So you have a background in economics from Stanford. I won't tease you about that. But I saw you went to the Ross School, right?
Before it was the Ross School.
Before it was the Ross School, right? You got the MBA. Right? I'm more partial to Cornell, but
it's okay.
And so the training, the certifications, the understanding, the science, all those things, plus business and investors and all that stuff had to wrap up into one thing. But when you did all that, what was the one thing that you found that you were lacking that could have almost just derailed this whole thing? Because, we go, oh, I got this, I can knock it down. Your parents, your grandparents, you got to be twice as good in order to do. You did all that stuff. You did Stanford, which is a feat in and of itself. Then you did, University of Michigan, and you do all this stuff, and you come through all these things, and you start the business, and then what was that one wall you hit where you went,
For me, it was a lack of comfort with accounting. So I took accounting in business school. Mary Guyton got me through accounting. If it wasn't for Mary Guyton,
don't everybody have that one?
I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah. We've got that one person.
And even today, I have to be honest, but not as much today, but for many years, accounting would literally bring me to tears. And accounting and finance together, but accounting is critical to the success of your business. You have to understand what's coming in, what you're spending, and how, you know, those and all of those elements, you know. And accounting, I came to realize why it was so difficult for me is because it's a different language. I didn't understand that it was a different language. Once I understood it was a different language, then I could learn that language. And so now I just get frustrated because of the state of the business, but not because of accounting itself.
And so you learn to attach the words to common things you understand to say this is like that. Just like you might learn you know, what a chair is, and you attach it to chair, and it's that. But then how did you get through the business part as well? I mean, it had to have been pretty daunting to tell somebody you wanted support or investment in a business that literally nobody's done.
Yeah, so we don't have any investors.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet.
So
we're privately, we've self-financed the company.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So my biggest challenge is convincing Black people that they should that knowing where you're from in Africa is important, that you should want to know. And then once I get you to, well, first of all, let me take a step back. There are some people I have to convince that they're from Africa, but I choose not to fight that battle. But that's there. Then it's important, and then you should want to know where, and then you should choose us over other companies. Well, in the beginning we didn't have other companies, but you know, you should choose us over other companies, and why, and what the value is for taking our test versus another test, because there's a significant price difference.
And so the price difference is something that you pay for, you know, because I noticed that, you know, it's almost $100 more, but the information that you're going to get is from such a broad group of African Americans that it's going to give you information. It will literally fill in decades, or if not centuries, of gaps that are in your family. But it'll also remind you that when, you know, grandma said that was your cousin, then it actually ends up being your aunt. You know, you get those kind of...
Yeah, but you know, so it's interesting because what you're talking about is the industry in general. But our test functions differently. But you're right.
And so it's important that you understand familial lineage versus this general, I'm from Africa, right? But where? Africa is a continent. You need to understand what country you're from, why your mental stability, your health care, all those things go back to where you're from.
Yeah.
And so I was able to look back and go, oh, okay. So that's why that's the way that is. So let me change my diet, change my thinking of how I thought about healthcare in order to make sure I live longer. You know, it's not by accident most African American men have issues with diabetes and kidney disease. But why, right? It comes down to diet. You know, the habits of eating things and all that. But I wouldn't have thought about that until I did my DNA and went, oh, that's what that is. And then these are all the things they eat, and this is where they came through. And it made sense.
But you know what? I would argue, since you told me that you know, we talked earlier about, I would argue that a large part of, we'll just use your example of, you know, Black men suffering from these things, beyond what we eat is how we view ourselves.
Correct.
And how important we think we are, and how motivated we are to understand our health. And all of that, to me, goes back to understanding who you come from on the continent. So even beyond a country, which is an artificial and politically drawn border as a result of the Berlin Conference, but who are the people? And to your point, who are the people, and what were their spiritual practices, and what did they value culturally, and how did they eat? And so much of what we suffer from, what I suffer from, on a daily basis, psychologically and physically, I think can be tied to how you feel about yourself. And once you know where you're from in Africa, the way you feel about yourself has the opportunity to change exponentially.
All right. We're talking to Dr. Gina Page. She is the co-founder and president of African Ancestry. If you have not gotten, I'm gonna just say this as a shameless sales plug. If you haven't gone to the website and ordered the kit and gotten your DNA, this is just me. I say, plan for about somewhere in the $800 to $1,000 range, right? Buy the kit so you can get both parents, whatever extras you need for that other person in your family, because once they start harassing you about it, you can just go here, right? Christmas, birthday present. But that way you'll understand where you're from, but also why you're from, and why all those things happen. When we come back, I'm going to ask her my, of course, series of questions off the top of her head that she'll have to answer to make sure she can really let us know who she is. You're listening to Entrepreneurship Tuesday, powered by We Energies.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
Have you ever heard of the saying, health is wealth? Or eat your food as medicine before you have to take your medicine like it's food? Well, I'm maturing in age and I'm starting to realize what it means to truly value my health. Lately, I've been paying attention to what I'm putting in my body by making changes to my diet and adding exercise to my daily routine. Look, I love to eat, and I have not always been conscious of reading the labels. My motto used to be, if it tastes good, it's all good. Now my motto is eat better, get stronger, and live longer. The truth is, it's important to make positive adjustments that will increase your health long term. I might not be a guru on nutrition, but I do know you are what you eat. And even if you decide to eat better, you still have to watch out for processed foods, PFAs, GMOs, and other man-made chemicals that could negatively impact your health. So remember to detox your body as often as you can. There are many ways to go about this, so do your research and check with your doctor if you have pre-existing conditions. At the end of the day, it's your life, your health, and we have to make sure we're taking time to do the proper maintenance on ourselves. Also, make sure you choose a diet and exercise routine that works for you. I'm excited about this new journey that I'm on to properly take care of my body, and I hope I can encourage you to get excited about your health as well. Eat better, get stronger, live longer. Now start eating powerful.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Southbound on 41, heavy from Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Once you get past Capitol, you should be in good shape all the way down to the Zoo interchange. 894 southbound, though, does back up a bit from Oklahoma Avenue down and around the Hale onto 894 eastbound. We got westbound 94 slowing down from before the Marquette all the way through to Hawley Road. On the eastbound side, backing up from 76th Street, pretty solid all the way to about 35th. And then westbound 894 through that construction zone out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to 68th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, storms ending, partly cloudy skies, still humid with a low of 63. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and cooler with a slight chance for showers with a high of 74. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Alex Tellez. The Packers kick off their second training camp practice on this Tuesday without star quarterback Jordan Love as his contract extension talks continue. ESPN's Adam Schefter had this to say about Love's potential deal on the Pat McAfee Show.
But I think by the end of the week, my guess would be that Jordan Love will have a new contract that probably makes him one of the, if not the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
Love is currently on the last year of his contract. Over in baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers lost on the road in Chicago to the Chicago Cubs 3-1 on Monday. They are back in action this Tuesday. First pitch is scheduled for 7:05 with coverage beginning over on WTMJ at 6:30. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Entrepreneurship Tuesday on Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, sponsored by Concordia University, Wisconsin, is powered by We Energies. Energy you can depend on.
You're listening to Entrepreneurship Tuesday, powered by We Energies. Our guest is Dr. Gina Page, co-founder and president of African Ancestry. She's sitting there laughing because I said it wrong the other time, but I'm just kind of. So I have a series of questions I want to ask you off the top of your head.
I know. I just.
I might even throw some in that I didn't ask, but anyway. So what have you done recently for the first time?
Fly to Milwaukee.
Oh, I knew that was coming. That was too easy.
I've never been here before.
Really?
Mm-mm. I lived in Chicago. I never came here.
Wow. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. So I understand not coming to Milwaukee because you're in Chicago.
Seems
I get
nice.
that. Apart from adding more time to your day, what would be the biggest difference in your life?
Vacationing regularly.
Really?
Yeah, I don't vacation. I don't ever stop.
You just stay at home and just don't do anything, or you just don't leave, or you're just always working?
I'm always working. I took a vacation 2 years ago for my birthday. It was 2 weeks. I went to Morocco, and I didn't take my laptop, and that was the first time in 19 years that I had been without my laptop. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
What one thing do you have to do every day?
Brush my teeth.
I would hope.
That's the only one thing I can be convinced. I can be sure that will happen.
Other than brushing your teeth, what's the first thing you do in the morning?
Well, actually, I hit the snooze button. But I would like to add to that.
Yes. Clarify.
I do hot yoga and hot Pilates with my 76-year-old father every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 6 a.m.
So you're a slacker because you don't do it every day, right?
No. I'm grateful that I get up and do it those 2 days. That's plenty.
What song is in your head right now?
Champagne Life.
That is one of my most favorite songs, Champagne Life.
Yeah, I listen to that.
That is actually the theme of this segment.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. Entrepreneurship Tuesday, powered by We Energies. The music I play is from Champagne Life.
That's what's in my head when I travel and get ready to meet people. That's what I listen to.
Yeah. Who's your guru? Like, who's that person that when you go, I hit that wall, and you call them?
So most recently,
because you've had to call a series of people.
Yeah, right. Because hitting the walls in different ways is my friend from college, my best guy friend in college, Bruce Richardson.
Okay.
He's the smartest person I know, and he is very good with numbers and cash flow and all of that. And so I've been leaning on him a lot.
So in other words, he's internalized it.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He's not an accountant or anything, but he had a long entrepreneurial career and a long corporate career.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I probably shouldn't ask a woman this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What in your wardrobe do you wear the most? You know, that go-to, gotta run, gotta,
So lately it's been my Crocs. I have some Croc slides.
I hate Crocs. Ooh,
I get the slides. I don't wear the regular.
Okay.
I can't get to the regular Crocs, but the slides.
Just put your foot in and go.
Exactly.
Okay. I just see them in so many different ways. Like I used to remember growing up, nurses wore those, right?
Yeah.
Now,
but they're so comfortable.
But I saw a grown man in a light gray suit, shirt, tie, jacket, very well dressed with Crocs. I'm like, dude. What are we doing?
They're so comfortable.
I know everybody tells me that. I just can't. Maybe I'm just too narrow-minded. I don't know.
No, you like what you like. That's fair.
Know.
You like what you like.
What's your best habit and your worst habit? Now, granted, any of these questions you can say pass.
Okay. My best habit, I think, is listening before I speak. My worst habit is beating myself up.
For making mistakes or missing things or just in general?
Yep.
The whole, all of the above.
Yeah, like I can, all of the above. Like when things don't go right or if there is a situation that I could have impacted, I tend to beat myself up.
But then do you learn from it?
Oh, yeah, I learn from it. And I can, in the moment, I can break down exactly how and why it happened and, why did you do that? But and the other one, this one, I'm surprised didn't come to mind first, is I'm impatient. That's not a habit, but being impatient maybe is the act of being impatient.
Yeah. So is that tied to some neurological or...
No.
Right.
I think someone recently told me it's because I'm an only child.
Well, I'm not an only child because I have two older sisters, but I'm the only boy. So I was always raised by women. And then you get married and have two daughters, and so you live with women, right? So there's this thing. But I found out later I have adult ADHD.
Ah, okay.
So all the things that worked for me positively, right, were the same things that worked for me negatively. The being able to multitask can do, which you really can't multitask, but your brain can, you keep getting interrupted doing all these things, and people go, oh my God, you got all this stuff done. Yeah, I'm exhausted though, and I can't breathe, and I can't walk, and those things. But you learn that some of your best habits are actually your worst ones too. And so how did you make it through creating a company as dynamic with as a private entity like African Ancestry? Or do you even realize that yet?
Well, you mean how did I make it through given those habits?
Well,
or just how did I make it through in general?
Both, because you had some things that you literally held you back, but yet you still made it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because that's why I say the ancestors. Earlier when we were talking, so I think being driven, being tenacious, and that helps. If you never stop working, then that's going to help you drive the company. But I've broken my leg. I've had other health issues that come from not stopping, not relaxing. So I've paid for this success physically. And then I think being impatient helps in a sense because, you're on people to get things done. You don't take no for an answer. You figure out another way. Perhaps that's how the impatience has benefited me.
Okay. What can the teammates here at 101.7 The Truth do for you?
What you're doing now, spread the word. So we have a fairly well-recognized brand, but we're an extremely small company, and we compete against companies that don't have to generate a profit. There's a company in our industry that in 2020 ended 2022 with $551 million in cash, and that was after they lost $232 million. We don't, that's not our reality. So we have to turn a profit with every test kit that we sell. So the more that we can get the word out, Black people often are like, what are you going to do with my DNA? I'm not giving anybody my DNA. We're the only company that destroys the DNA. So that fear goes out the window. We don't want fear to be the reason that you don't find out where you're from. And so the more that people like you who've taken the test share experiences, the better that helps us with our consumer target, because we thrive on word of mouth as Black folks.
And so where do we find the test?
You can go to AfricanAncestry.com. We have 2 tests. One traces maternal ancestry, mother to mother to mother, on back 2,000 years. And the other one traces paternal ancestry, father to father to father, on back. We do this work for individuals like yourself, but we also do this work for corporations. We do this work for churches. We recently did a reveal of 117 people at a church in New Jersey. So it's a great way to bring community together and build new connections based on our superpower, which is being African.
Okay. You just gave me a couple of ideas in the next year or so that I can definitely use African ancestry in a couple different ways.
I'm doing a family reunion. I mean, it's, you name it.
Yeah.
African ancestry can support your event.
Anything else you want to add?
I want to add that I want to thank you for having me, first of all. And I appreciate that you do Entrepreneur Tuesdays, is that what it's called? But that you aren't just about the business, like you want to understand the person behind the business. One of the things I figured out maybe 2018, 2017, is that I'm in the business of being Black. And there are not that many businesses that are in the business of being Black. There are businesses that sell to Black people. There are businesses that sell Black-oriented products. But we literally are in the business of helping you be a Black person, a person of African descent more fully. And I'm really proud of that. So thank you for having me.
You're so very welcome. Thank you much. All right. Dr. Gina Page, co-founder and CEO, president, Grand Poobah extraordinaire of African Ancestry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Truth Nation!
And all our juicy jammers out there.
Make certain that you tap into Jam with Juice each and every day so you can quench your thirst.
That is right. You already know you can sip on us every single day, like Benjamin said, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But that's not all, y'all.
Catch us exclusively on YouTube for our 6 to 7 show.
Yep, only on Thursdays.
Catch Jammin' with Juice each and every day on 101.7 The Truth.
Now sip on that.
What distinguishes Old National Bank from other lenders in helping people buy their first home and furthering their small businesses?
One thing that really makes us stand out is our grants. We have 2 really big grants right now specifically for first-time home buyers buying in Milwaukee County. The first one is for $15,000. They have to be buying within Milwaukee County and reach certain income limits. And then the second one is for $20,000, and that is through the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indiana. We're headquartered in Indiana. area, as you know, Denise. So that is a second grant, and that is really the highest, most robust grant program throughout the entire southeastern Wisconsin area. So it's up to $35,000 essentially that a person could be receiving for their first home. If you are in a position that you're looking to buy your first home throughout Milwaukee County, please give me a call. Please contact me. I'm more than happy to help everybody that I can.
And what's your number, Anna?
Sure.
How can they reach you?
414-978-0283.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
What do you get when you combine grilled-to-order deliciousness with only the finest Wisconsin cheeses? Cousin Sub's new Wisconsin cheesesteaks, featuring either steak or chicken, bacon, cheddar cheese, sautéed onions, and their new Cheddar Supreme cheese sauce. It's a match made in dairy heaven. And the decadence doesn't stop there. Pair your Wisconsin cheesesteak with their new Orange Dream Shake. All are available for a limited time only. Order in store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Attention Wisconsin, Eagle Sports Range is now open, proudly claiming the title of Wisconsin's largest indoor range. Enjoy 40 lanes, unlimited range time, no reservations needed, and an impressive selection of 100 firearm rentals with unlimited swaps. Experience the thrill like never before. Visit Eagle Sports Range at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Text TRUTH to 414-375-6030 for a free range pass. Valid for one person only, expires within 48 hours. That's 414-375-6030.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I only got about a minute, so the caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Yes, sir. I'll take my short time and say the answer to the question from yesterday, for me, I think we will cut off would be Jasmine Crockett.
As the number two?
As the VP.
Really?
I know that's not going to happen. I know that's not a realistic choice, but it was a hypothetical situation because we don't get to choose who the VP is. So
right.
If I were the person who could say, hey, take this person along with you, I would say take her.
All right. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Also, 1 minute.
I don't have time. Got to go.
I'm waiting for the debate.
I got to go. Talk to you later. 833-212-1017 is the number for tomorrow. But if you want to talk today, time's up. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host. I want to say thank you to Gina Page. She is the CEO of African Ancestry. If you're interested, go to just Google African Ancestry or go to AfricanAncestry.com and they can get you information on how you can order it and see, because it's the largest group of people who are of African descent. So you can drill down where you're from and what to do next. I want to say thank you to Jason. Appreciate you. Thank everybody for calling in. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. Tori Lowe Show is coming up next. And I'll kick around in about 22 hours. And you'll get the best of what I think is Milwaukee Black Talk. God bless. Take care. I'm out.